Richard Southern joins me now. You've been covering this for 680 all day. It's been quite an afternoon.
It was more exciting than we expected. As far as, these ranked ballot conventions go, it was exciting. There was a chance at the end that Nate Erskine-Smith could have pulled out a victory. In the end, it was Bonnie Crombie.
Bonnie Crombie is Ontario's new Liberal leader. I should have said that right off the top.
Yeah, Bonnie Crombie is setting the stage for what I think is really going to be an epic battle between this veteran politician in Crombie and the two-term Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford. It's going to be something.
She clearly gets under his skin. He has, launched a few lobbies at her a number of times. I remember the first time, out of the blue, he just said she should stay in her lane and stop whining and play nice in the sandbox. And then a couple of times he said, bring it on. So he's ready for a fight. That email from the PC party that was sent to all the media after she won, basically,
says,
criticizing
quote, Crombie drives a luxury car and vacations at her home in the Hamptons. That's what the PC party said moments after she was elected. You asked
I did ask her,
do
you have, first of all, she said she doesn't own a car, and then I asked her about the house in the Hamptons, and she said she inherited it from her
aunt and uncle, I believe.
Her ex-husband's aunt and uncle.
Right. But it just goes to show you that the gloves are already off just minutes after her victory here. And it is, this is going to be an interesting battle going forward. She's going to need, you'd think, to get a seat in the legislature, and she kind of gave a hint as to what she's doing with that.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
There's going to be a by-election coming up in Lambton, Kent, Middlesex. This is in the Chatham area. Monty McNaughton having resigned. And she said...
Former cabinet minister. He left on his own accord from the Ford government.
She said she'll consider that, but wants to ideally run in Mississauga.
Sure, and I don't blame her. I mean, that's where she's known. That's where her base is. She'd be very comfortable there. And it would be, I'm assuming, a fairly easy victory, even though it's completely held by Ford right now, the whole Mississauga area. The other thing that I find so interesting, Richard, is the lack of voter turnout. I mean, they had said there would be massive voter turnout, that this party is being rejuvenated, but out of the 100,000 plus, only 22,000 voted, like almost a quarter, or just over a quarter. That doesn't scream rejuvenation and engagement to me.
That's one of the big storylines tonight, that this was not a resounding victory for Miss Crombie by any means.
No.
53% on the third ballot. Only, as you point out, 22% of eligible voters in the Liberal Party cast a ballot. That doesn't say a whole lot.
No.
Crombie tried to spin it, saying, hey, it was double the turnout of the last convention. But still, she clearly has work to do within her own party. And then, of course, when she goes into a general election.
There is a possibility that some of her supporters felt so confident she would win that they didn't bother to go vote in person. And a lot of people were angry that they didn't do email ballots.
Yes, yeah.
So that could have had something to do with it.
There were people in this room who felt she is too conservative, and she talked about wanting to drag the Liberals back to the center. Who knows? Maybe that's what you need to do to win a general election. I don't know. But there were people in here who didn't like that.
Definitely. So she has her work cut out for her. I mean, we saw the Liberal postmortem after the last election that Stephen Del Duca lost. And it was quite a scathing report talking about how the riding associations had no support. There was no proper vetting of candidates, because there were quite a few scandals with some candidates.
They had to drop out somewhere.
That had to drop. And so she has a lot of rebuilding. I mean, the party has been starving, hasn't had party status for, the last two elections. So this is not going to be a cakewalk. Tomorrow, the real hard work begins.
The real work begins tomorrow, but it was quite the speech from Crombie today. She was in command, she was comfortable, really showed that she was a political veteran. You've seen a lot of these speeches, Cynthia. Was that a good one?
I thought she gave a good speech.
Yeah.
It was warm, it was personal, it was fiery. She was attacking Doug Ford. She hit the right notes, but it's going to take more than good speeches.
Right.
All right, Richard Southern, we will have our work cut out for ourselves at Queen's Park.
Look forward to it.
Thanks very much.